Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. Footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
Like, and Trey's like literally sitting there playing Lookout.
Playing Lookout as Justin Bieber goes down.
Is there a hidden side to the entertainment industry that's darker than any of us can imagine? Lately, rumors and accusations have set social media on fire, pointing to unsettling truths behind Sean Diddy Combs' relationship with Justin Bieber. People have wondered for years why a young pop star would suddenly find himself in the orbit of a much older, very powerful industry figure. Now, fresh allegations claim Justin was far more vulnerable than fans ever knew, and that certain tapes could hold shocking secrets. Yet everything is cloaked in half-baked rumors, conflicting stories, and ominous whispers from insiders who say the truth is even worse than what's already out there.
Everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, business, partners.
But how did we get here? Why has Justin's name resurged in the same conversation as lawsuits, explicit party videos, and allegations of hidden manipulations? To fully grasp how these fragments connect, we need to go back and look at the early days, when Justin's bright-eyed innocence caught Diddy's attention and led to a mentorship that, according to some, went off the rails. Strap in. Because this story isn't just about music contracts or typical Hollywood drama. It's about power, control, and a vulnerable young star who might have faced exploitation behind the scenes. Before Justin Bieber became a global star, he was just a small-town Canadian kid with a webcam and an extraordinary voice. Around 2008, talent manager Scooter Braun discovered him, and soon after, Usher took the budding performer under his wing. But there was another major music mogul in the background, Diddy, who seemed equally fascinated by Justin's potential. It began innocently enough. Diddy extended hospitality, offered advice, and brought Justin into high-profile events. Yet, even back then, eyebrows went up over how insistent Diddy seemed about spending time with his fresh-faced teenager. There was the infamous 48-hour mentorship rumor, which suggested Justin spent 2 days in Diddy's world with promises of Lamborghinis and luxurious perks. Many fans brushed this off as typical showbiz bragging or standard music industry fraternizing. Then, the gift rumors started. People started noticing that shortly after Diddy made grand promises on camera, talking about houses and fancy cars, Justin showed up with exactly that, a high-end Lamborghini, which he displayed not long after. Getting his driver's license. For some observers, it felt like Diddy was investing in Justin's loyalty through expensive gifts. At the time, chatter about this sugar daddy dynamic was mostly relegated to anonymous blog posts and fandom. Speculation. But today, that speculation has new weight, given the barrage of allegations tying Diddy to predatory behavior. Few in the music industry have been as unflinchingly bold about calling out powerful figures as Jaguar Wright. She's not a household name, but she spent years as a backup singer for major acts and has a reputation for being connected to hush-hush conversations behind closed doors. Wright has repeatedly spoken about Diddy's so-called secret life, alleging that he wields influence over younger male artists in unsettling ways. The story gained traction when Cassie, who had once been romantically involved with Diddy, filed a lawsuit with disturbing details. Though Cassie's claim focused on her own experience, they opened the floodgates for a closer look at how Diddy treated other young stars, especially Justin. Wright, in various interviews, singled out Justin as a prime example of someone who was groomed and used, citing unseen tapes that could put the mogul behind bars if they ever emerged. She didn't stop there. According to Wright, these alleged tapes show Justin in vulnerable, possibly coerced situations. Some are rumored to be tied to the freak-off parties Diddy is said to have hosted, elaborate gatherings marked by secrecy, intimidation, and, if you believe the stories, deeply troubling encounters. Despite skepticism from certain fans who accuse Jaguar of chasing headlines, others find her consistent repetition of these allegations hard to ignore. Could She really be stirring rumors this detailed if nothing was there. One clip has been particularly polarizing, a video showing Justin Bieber, NFL star Odell Beckham Jr., and singer Trey Songz in what appears to be a hotel room. On the surface, it might seem like a casual hangout, except Justin is acting strangely. Some have interpreted his behavior as simple teenage rebellion, drinking, partying, possibly dabbling in substances. But Jaguar Wright has drawn attention to something far more disturbing. She claims this video shows Justin doing more than just partying. She argues that if you look closer, Justin seems to be performing intimate acts on Odell, all while Trey Songz plays Lookout. The insinuation is that this was no normal party scene. Rather, it was a moment caught on camera that reveals Justin's deeper involvement in the adult behavior swirling around him. Critics counter that these claims are overblown, or that the footage is grainy and open to interpretation. However, the entire scenario raises a familiar question. Where were the adults, and why did multiple older men appear so comfortable coaxing a very young artist into dangerous territory? A lot of this suspicion ties back to the notion that Justin was passed around among older industry figures. Some insist there's enough smoke to suspect a fire, given how Justin's behavior changed after these alleged incidents. Others believe these rumors only caught traction because Justin's real-life missteps were so public. Scrapes with the law, a string of questionable decisions, and a publicly documented battle with substance use. Long before Justin arrived on the scene, Diddy had a reputation for hosting what he once called Flavor Camp, a place where he allegedly housed younger artists under the guise of mentorship and production deals. Usher was part of this environment when he was still in his teens, apparently living with Diddy. Over the years, Usher has been notably careful when discussing that period, dropping subtle hints that what went on behind the doors of Flavor Camp was hardly a healthy environment for a teenage boy. Stories emerged of raucous parties, free-flowing alcohol, and a pressure to keep up with Diddy's lifestyle, no matter the cost. Some older clips feature Diddy casually admitting that he and Usher shared a bed while Usher was still quite young. Though Diddy tried to laugh it off as a mere anecdote about partying and cereal, audiences were left unsettled. Why was a high-profile mogul casually referencing sleeping arrangements with a teenager? Fast forward to Justin Bieber entering the same ecosystem. Were similar patterns repeated? Did Diddy employ the same tactics of influence, lavish gifts, and powerful connections, only to create a sense of obligation in these young stars? Usher, who introduced Justin to this world, perhaps believed he was handing the boy a golden ticket to stardom. But in hindsight, many wonder if it led to something more ominous. The Diddy saga doesn't end with Justin. Meek Mill found his name tossed into the ring following accusations in a lawsuit known as the Lil Rod case. In it, Diddy was cited for possible intimate involvement with multiple male artists, including a rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, leading many to suspect Meek, and an R&B star with a Vegas residency, which fans deduced might be Usher. Jaguar Wright even referred to Meek as a power bottom in one interview, fueling claims that his very public relationship with Nicki Minaj may have been crafted to counter suspicion about what was really happening behind closed doors. Then there's the question of Will and Jada Smith, longtime friends of Diddy. Rumors swirl that they introduced or extended certain arrangements to other rising artists, fueling speculation about Hollywood's interconnected circles. Photographs of Meek and Diddy wearing matching pajamas, or Diddy openly calling Meek daddy, circulated online, igniting further gossip. Could these displays simply be playful banter, or do they represent glimpses into deeper personal entanglements, kept secret from the wider public? All of this folds into talk about freak-off parties, gatherings that are rumored to be more than standard Hollywood blowouts. Various accounts describe them as nights where illicit substances, excessive drinking, and highly questionable encounters took center stage. Whispers even suggest that hidden cameras captured everything, for potential blackmail, monetary gain, or merely to fuel Diddy's alleged thrill in holding power over his guests. While Justin ascended to stratospheric fame, his personal life spiraled in a way that wasn't typical teenage rebellion. Public meltdowns, legal troubles, combative encounters with paparazzi, it was a far cry from the wholesome YouTube sensation fans first fell in love with. When asked about his experiences, Justin described feeling misled and confused, painting a picture of someone who might have been manipulated during formative years. He'd also opened up about turning to substances to cope. Some chalked this up to the standard pitfalls of child stardom, but others began to connect the dots. How did he learn such destructive coping mechanisms? Was there a pipeline of older mentors who introduced him to toxic behaviors while promising to show him the ropes of the industry? In later interviews, Justin expressed concern for newer stars like Billie Eilish, stating he wanted to protect her from going through what he endured. This protective streak indicates a person who, in hindsight, may realize just how dangerous certain environments were when he was thrust into them. It's a pattern all too common among child stars. They skyrocket to fame, only to discover that the adults who should guide them may be too entangled in their own agendas, or in some cases, actively exploiting them. In recent months, rumors have intensified about actual video recordings being sold on the dark web. Jaguar Wright specifically referenced Diddy's so-called freak-off tapes, possibly fetching millions of dollars in secret transactions. The suggestion is that high-profile celebrities including Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and more could be featured in these recordings, capturing them in compromising, non-consensual, or heavily manipulated situations. Wright claims a special cryptocurrency or dark coin is used in these transactions to keep them untraceable. Critics say this is a sensational conspiracy theory lacking hard proof, but the talk alone is enough to stir public imagination. If Diddy truly possessed incriminating footage of high-profile stars, the power he wielded behind the scenes might help explain why these allegations took so long to surface. Justin Bieber's name keeps popping up in these discussions, not just as a party guest, but as someone who might have been intentionally lured, recorded, and then left with little recourse. Whether or not these tapes exist, the mere rumor has sparked renewed calls for a thorough investigation. Some believe that if evidence emerges, it could be the final straw that sees Diddy, already facing legal battles, held accountable in a more serious way. Usher initially played the role of fairy godfather to Justin's Cinderella story, whisking him from obscurity to stardom. Justin's mother once spoke about how relieved she felt when Usher and Scooter Braun appeared, believing they were godsent, mentors who'd guide her son responsibly. She had no idea how quickly he would be introduced to Diddy and how precarious that connection might become. Speculation runs rampant that Usher knew exactly what Diddy's parties entailed. After all, he lived under Diddy's roof as a teen. But was he, in his mind, saving Justin from other potential vultures, or was he inadvertently sending him into another lion's den? Usher's interactions with Diddy have always come off as guarded, even awkward. Some interpret it as a trauma. Bond, he's loyal to Diddy for launching his career, but uneasy about the memories tied to that period. Court documents from the Lil Rod lawsuit mention a well-known R&B singer rumored to have engaged in sexual activity with Diddy. Although the name is never spelled out, fans have strung the clues together and believe it points to Usher. Whether it's true or not, the swirling accusations hint at a pattern of power plays that date back decades. If someone like Usher could be coerced or roped into Diddy's sphere, it begs the question, how much more vulnerable was a teen idol like Justin? Bieber? More than a decade has passed since Justin burst onto the scene as a wide-eyed teen with a dream. His journey has been marked by chart-topping hits, global tours, personal collapses, and a slow climb towards stability. Yet the allegations around his relationship with Diddy persist, growing louder with each new lawsuit, insider interview, or cryptic online post. Fans often wonder, if Justin truly experienced inappropriate exploitation, why hasn't he spoken out more forcefully? Some suggest he might be torn between wanting justice and fearing the fallout, both emotional and professional, that a full confession could unleash. Others believe he's under certain confidentiality agreements or might still be processing the psychological impact of everything that happened when he was too young to fully understand it. In the meantime, the tapes Jaguar Wright alludes to remain unseen by the public. We may never know if they truly exist, but the rumor alone is enough to spark endless questions about what powerful people hide behind extravagant lifestyles and carefully curated public images. Diddy, currently ensnared in a web of legal and personal crises, might finally be losing the iron grip he's held on the music industry for so long. For Justin, the hope is that he finds peace away from the manipulations of any so-called mentors, who only had their own interests in mind. Through candid documentaries and interviews, he has hinted at the dark truths lurking behind the headlines. Maybe one day he'll speak openly about the figures who preyed on his innocence, shining light on an industry that has for too long thrived on secrecy and intimidation. But until then, we're left with fragmented claims, leaked tidbits, and the perplexing reality that a boy once hailed as the voice of a generation could have been subjected to a world no one should ever witness. Behind the glamorous red carpets, sold-out arenas, and flashy award shows, there may be a grim underbelly, one that devours young talent and leaves them with scars too deep to see. If even a fraction of these allegations are true, then everything we thought we understood about fame, fortune, and the people who wield it is far more twisted than we ever dared imagine. Take a moment to look past the bright lights and roaring applause. Underneath, there's an undeniable question. How many more are suffering in silence, tied by threats, blackmail, or fear of losing the only career they've ever known? As for Justin Bieber, if he truly holds secrets that can help dismantle this system, will he feel compelled to step forward? Or will he remain another industry survivor, quietly coping with memories no one should have to carry? Only time will unravel these mysteries. For now, the final call rests with those who dare to share what they've really seen and those brave enough to listen.